Guess who got brands talking? Brandlive.co.za.
Okay, it's just gone 2 minutes past 11. You're listening to The Weekly with me, Sam Marshall. And as you know, every week I interview some interesting people doing some interesting things. And The Weekly is now officially an hour long. So every week I'll be doing double interviews or I'll be engaging in different acts of randomness. Now, this week I am very, very privileged to be talking to two amazing ladies who do exceptional stuff. They're authors in their own right, but they're also then, to add to this nightmare of putting words to paper and creating worlds and intricate stories, they then went to decide to go and run their own business as well in the field of publishing. So with me is Carlyle and Erika. Ladies, good morning. Thank you very much for joining me on The Weekly.
Good morning.
Morning.
Now, you know what? I know I haven't seen you guys in a very, very long time. So before I congratulate you, let's do an update. Let's quickly, the last time I had a chat to you, Erika, you were doing a lot of stuff. We don't have enough time to wrap off what you were doing. But a book came out. You were involved in a children's book. You were then off to America with Carlyle. Okay, so fill in the details. Like, let's do soapy style. What happened?
How long do we have?
Talking about a long time ago now. Yes, look, we just want to grow. Everything we do, our goal is to grow. We've published. I bring out an extra pen name.
Okay.
So we're on 3 now.
What does that mean? An extra personality.
Extra personality. My poor husband. It's Kristen Ping. I released like 2
Kristen
books
Ping.
Kristen Ping. Don't ask me how.
P-I-N-G.
P-I-N-G.
Not
yes.
Chinese.
No.
Okay.
So and that is the name that I've reached USA Today with.
The Christian Ping.
Under Christian Ping, the brand new one. Yes. We've done a lot, eh?
Can you see the bags under our
Yes, we work very hard.
Yeah. Well, hopefully those bags are full of money. Carla, last time I had a chat to you, I know you were working on a whole bunch of things. You were working on, with Firecool, working on getting the publicity right. There was a whole bunch of new authors. I think the last of the authors I interviewed on my morning show on SABC. Fill in the blanks as soapy style.
Soapy style. These are the days of our lives. We've been busy, as Erika said. The last time I saw you, I just came back from Paris.
Yes.
And I launched my first crime novel, which I've then changed back to my original name. Some people can have pen names. I just couldn't handle all the personalities.
Yeah. Well, Christian Ping.
We did sign on a lot of authors, and they're under Firecool Publishing. We try to publish a lot of variety of stories. We'd like to bring fantasy as a very important genre for South Africa. This is why we had the USA Today title in mind.
Yeah.
I was told a very long time ago from agents, publicists, right through to distributors, you're a female writer, you do fiction. Sorry, we can't have you on board. It just doesn't matter at the moment.
Okay.
So Erika and I said, you know what, we'll freaking show you. It does matter. And we did it. We the first South African female fiction writers to hit USA Today bestselling.
For sure. I want to, before I talk about yet again congratulatory stuff and stuff like that, talk to me about the headspace that you need to be in for crime. Because it's very different to the other stuff you've done.
Yes.
And a complete departure from the other stuff you've done.
I did young adult fantasy fiction. So you're looking at more like your Marvel meets Twilight, meets Lord of the Rings, all meshed in one.
Yeah.
And then I had to watch a lot of crime stories all the time. I started off with the series Castle.
Yeah.
With the
who's an author and
yes,
does investigative stuff
and
on
then
the
I
side,
went on to the darker stuff like CSI New York.
Yeah.
And you
Crime
do
Channel.
get in a very, very, very dark place. and it's difficult to get out of that mind space because the whole time you have to think about the nastiness that goes into murders and serial killing. And the stuff I loved about it that intrigued me was the forensic side. Because I'm a sci-fi writer, everything has an explanation. Everything can be
Does
explained.
the research change a little? Because you've got to do a bit of research now, right?
Yes.
Because you gotta get. I mean, for the ones that understand the process, it's got to be as authentic as possible. Or can I ask this question as somebody sitting on the side? Or can you make it up?
You make it up. You're a fiction writer.
You make it up.
Yes.
You can.
Where were you when you decided that I'm now going to add a third personality, Mrs. Ping? Is it Miss or Mrs. Ping?
Mrs. Ping. This
Oh,
one
she's
is
married.
It sounds like a book character on its own.
So Mrs. Ping is married.
Yeah, yes. Look, I think all three of them is married. My poor
Her husband is a Mormon.
No, no. We actually joke a lot about that in my at the house and stuff.
Yeah.
Whenever we reach like quarreling, it's like okay, so who's
Who
to
am I
blame
arguing
for
with
this?
now?
Is it Adrian? Is it Isabella? Whose fault is this? So yeah, it's quite a nice joke when it comes to all of my pen names, and I actually have a fourth one.
But you haven't
that
written
is-
anything for the fourth.
But it is crime. So
Okay, it's also
I know
crime.
exactly, what
What's
Carlyle
happening
is
here? Is
speaking
there a
to.
pairing of genres?
I think the world is just in a space where they need to understand why things happen and that there is justice. There's so much that goes unsolved. And I
sure.
think as a writer, you always want something to be heard, some message to be carried over. And then all of a sudden you think, you know what? We need some justice in this world.
But there's something interesting. So, okay, how far are you with your crime? Before I ask this follow-up question, because I want to be quite methodical about it. How far are you with your crime stories, respectively?
Infallible is on pre-order. We've switched it back to my name. Beautiful new cover.
Okay.
And it will come out in November. And
Infallible.
Infallible.
I read
Yes,
Yes, I think
yes, you
read it,
have.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have.
rebranding
Yeah,
it,
we just
yeah.
re-switched the name. I couldn't do the Kristen Ping 3 Isabella White thing going on.
Yeah.
And so the box set that we did now is called, my book was called Tethered,
Yeah.
which was also crime, but with a bit of a supernatural
Yeah.
element, a paranormal element. So
It's actually
she
a very
gets,
nice book. I have to
it's one
admit
of the
that it's
best I have
amazing,
written.
yeah.
It was very, very hard.
Okay.
Because I had to be very, like you said, methodical with this
Yeah.
book because we were aiming to sell a lot of copies to reach a very big list
And?
of people. And I almost had a nervous breakdown.
It's a lot of work.
It's
a lot
of
Yes.
work.
That's an
Yeah.
emotional right over there.
Yeah.
Where are you in terms of your crime novel? So that one is, I know that one.
Yes, well, it's actually still in my head. Like I said, I don't do boards and stuff when it comes to the
and
layout.
plan outs and all
Yes,
that.
I do everything in my head. So I won't touch a story until I have the
Developed it
entire
completely.
story in my head. Yeah.
Are you guys not, and this is the methodical part to why I asked where you are in the various stages, are you not concerned that crime, and I don't know, it's sometimes you see it with artists that go into, for example, they guest appear in another genre.
Yes.
They have massive success in that genre, and it happens in music a lot. And then they change kind of focus in their music, and they no longer just blues. They now start to experiment with different elements of other genres.
I think
Are you not scared that it will kind of move you away
Sam,
from
it
young
depends
adults?
what your goal is.
What is your goal?
My goal is just to
'Cause you're writing crime now.
Whatever is there, I'm a creative
time.
person.
Okay.
Whatever I feel, I need to let out. I need to express. With any artist, you have different faces. Like Madonna, she changes all the time.
For sure.
She grows. She goes back to the old stuff, tries new stuff. And yes, you might lose and pick up and lose and pick up, but that's the game. It doesn't really. That's life. You pick up, you lose, you grow.
And for you?
That's
Erika?
why I have 4 pen names.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah, of course.
And they all compete.
No, they all compete for who's the best.
So let's talk about the congratulatory stuff, because I'll come back to Fire Call and running it, and you talked about signing new writers and stuff like that, and kind of the mixed match of being a creative yourself and managing other creatives, which can't be easy. But you, under Christian Ping, you've now had the word recognition is loaded. It's not the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Talk to me about what you've been recognized for.
Bestseller list. USA Today is under New York Times. It's probably not as big as a title, but it is a title, and we needed to reach that title because we were told we'd never amount to anything as fiction writers.
Oh, who told you that? Let's out
Oh,
them. Let's
God,
out them.
no.
Let's out that person now.
We're not
Man or woman?
person. It was men and women.
It's
Okay,
a
but
lot,
who resonates the last with you? Who's the last person who said that?
Exclusive books, but that was a long time ago.
It's not Benjamin. Not Benjamin Trisk, who owns exclusive books. Oh, okay. Okay.
There was an agent I also approached
Okay.
and a publicist when I started 6 years ago. And she said, I'm sorry, South Africa
Yeah, a
doesn't
lot
take
of-
on fiction.
It is changing little by little because,
Yeah.
I mean, our distributors are Blue Weaver.
Okay.
I got lucky with them because they just opened for fiction writers. They used to distribute only, travel books and cookbooks.
And a lot of distributors will tell you, sorry, we
yeah.
don't take on fiction.
And so it is changing little by little, but I don't know why we struggle so much with South African market.
Okay, but now here's the question. Here's the $50 million question. I have to do that little drum roll.
Okay.
Are the numbers there in South Africa, or are you still
It is.
outselling in America 10-1, hand over fist, whatever analogy you want to use?
The numbers, I don't think we'll be able to make a living if it wasn't for America. And all the other worldwide.
Go Trump.
He does something right.
Yeah.
But the numbers is there. I mean, all the books that's in the bookstores, they sell.
And we don't understand
yes.
why our South African authors have to go outside
For
to
sure,
publish.
but my question is a little bit more direct than that. It's the
Are we selling enough?
Yes.
especially
in South Africa.
because I know you guys, and you've lamented it often, how when you go to America, you guys need bodyguards because you have a following there.
We have
You
fat
go-
stalkers.
I mean, you can say if I'm
Yes.
lying. You've been to conferences and events where you've had lines and queues of people.
And we
wanting
were
your-
overwhelmed,
and
and,
you were
I didn't know
overwhelmed.
where to go and cry.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then and in South Africa, what are you selling? What's the numbers? So for every 20 books you sell in America, you sell what, one here? Or every 50 books you sell in America,
The ratio
you
is,
sell one here?
to me personally, I still feel like 90% of my
Sales.
readership is in America.
Yes.
90%.
90%.
And the other 10%? Is it Croatia?
Is
Well, I'm actually doing good in India.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So
I know which
yes.
name.
I haven't checked. Like Adrian Woods, I think. I mean, she's still the bestseller among all my pen names. But I
Okay.
just started with Kristen Ping. Isabella
She
White
do
is
well
also
in China.
picking up. Yes.
Kristen Ping should do very well in China.
And we're actually looking at translations at the moment.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's part of
yes,
your future.
Yes.
But
yes.
coming back to your question about why we sell so much abroad than here,
I think it's got to do with the digital as well. It's
they don't want to pick up digital.
South Africa has a problem. I've been, like, when Bookfest 2015, I was at a summit there, and they actually have a huge problem with digital. I don't know why.
Still.
They feel like they're gonna lose money if they don't sell paperbacks, and
Yeah.
it's actually it's not the truth, because you sell so much more in digital than what you do in paperback.
But you know, the other thing I must also tell you, as somebody who has been spending the last couple of days reading a book, I think the way South Africans talk about books is that they've romanticized the feel
About
and
a
the
book.
smell.
Yes.
the physical
Yes.
product.
And so they can't get past that.
I'm like
and,
that.
and unfortunately, you see, you're
that.
perpetuating the stereotype, and so it's not an authentic experience if it's on
I
your Kindle
don't-
or on your phone.
I'm
or
actually
on-
totally away from paperbacks. I only buy paperbacks so I can sit on my shelf and look pretty.
Yeah,
Because as soon as I start reading it, the pages start folding. I'm like, oh my gosh.
yeah.
So you just lie in bed, you got nothing to do, you can't sleep, you just go onto the internet, download a book, and there we go. You're reading.
Yeah.
I still read
And everywhere I
paperbacks.
go, I've got my phone with me. So if I'm standing in a
Here's the
queue, I've
problem.
got a
The
book.
problem is sitting directly next to me.
You're a problem.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's there's a market for all the formats. You know, there's people that loves Kindle, that loves digital. I mean, Kindle and Nook and
And whichever
yeah.
platform you want to.
Whatever
Reading
wherever you
is
buy
reading.
from, yes. And then you get paperback. There's even a market for hardcover, where people only read hardcover books. Audio is you have to get audios in today's time.
Yeah, you do.
Because my audios, the Draconian series audios, is selling actually better than my digital.
Okay.
So yeah, I was so
that's
surprised
all
with
those
that.
lazy readers out there.
Yes.
That
I
just
don't
wanna
think
sit
people
back.
really have time.
Oh,
to
you know
read
what? People
anymore.
are so busy with kids,
Yes.
family, homework. You have kids. Have you seen their homework? It's ridiculous.
For sure, but I've found...
So while you're cooking,
I
you
found
put on a
interesting-
book.
I found interesting ways to kind of read.
Yes.
So I find I once shared with you because some of it is disgusting, but I have really interesting places where I read, you know.
In the bars. I read in the bars. I
Yeah.
lock the door. I'm bathing right now.
Yeah, or you know when I'm cooking, or you know you
Yes.
got one, and yeah. So you have to find and you know the thing I've learned actually, and I think it's becoming a big thing. You can't read in 1 hour sittings anymore. You've got to
No.
read 5 minutes here, 5
Yes.
minutes there, 20 minutes
And
there.
then you lose
can.
kind of some of the feeling and the moment and the.
I'm fortunate that I'm not that kind of person.
So when you're in, you're in.
when I'm in, even if I go back to it
Yes.
a week later, I can still pick up the nuances and all that kind of
And
stuff.
the
So-
mood
and the mood and all that. So that's not my big thing. So what does this mean now? You've now on the US Today list. What does that mean in terms of your trajectory for, unfortunately, America, because it is American based?
Yes, but
Can you leverage it anywhere else in the world?
Yes.
But what does it mean for you?
for me, it means that maybe
Both of you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For both of us, we're hoping we didn't do this just for ourselves.
No.
We
It's
did
a nice
this
title
to
have.
yes,
it's
but
not
we
the
did
plan
it
why we
to
did
prove that hard work, and no matter where you are in the world or who you publish with or what you write, you matter and you can make a difference and you can do what you set your mind to. It was
Yeah.
very hard work, and we did it so we can open up doors for South African writers. They're
So-
hiding. Why are South African authors
but Carlyle,
hiding?
so have the doors been opened now? You know, on this
We've
list.
just started.
So okay, and so
It takes time. It's a process. Sam.
break it down for me, Erika, so that I can understand it structurally. So you know, on this list, what does that mean? What changes now? Are you now on the way whoever looks for you? And not that I mean, if I had to search for you, I can find you. But I need to understand what does that mean. You know, now that you're on that list, what does it do for you, Carlyle, as the writer?
You do have
you, Erika, as the
much
writer,
more
but also as
visibility.
Firecall.
Credibility. A lot.
Visibility, credibility, impact.
Because you need to
Respect
remember,
for some reason.
yes, you need to remember to get
Respect for some
onto
reason.
these lists.
Yeah.
We're talking about thousands and thousands of copies that had to be sold.
In a certain period
a
of time.
certain period
and
of
in
time.
certain places only.
Wow.
Yes.
So
to
it's
get on
really
this
targeting
list
sales.
is you can know that we sold more than 6,000 copies.
Okay.
And that
in a
was just one
certain-
platform.
yes.
And in a certain amount of time,
Um,
and only in certain countries, it matters.
So,
Yes.
you know, I'm going to say something really controversial, and I'm sure I'm painting a bullseye on my back. I listened to 702 yesterday morning, and the organizer of the Joseph Book Fair was on. Sorry, it was this morning. On my way to the airport to drop my wife. And the interesting thing that struck me, and I want to be clear with this, and I don't mean to paint them in a corner, but in the 20-minute conversation, the thing that struck me is like, wow, it's boring.
Oh.
And not because she talked about, and maybe I think you're talking about this idea that, and a lot of the publishers saying that, you know, non-fiction is big at the moment, and anything that's political or autobiographical is quite big at the moment, all that kind of
Yes.
stuff. And it felt to me that if you went to the Joseph Book Fair, that you're literally going to spend your days sitting with people that, and there's nothing wrong talking about the discourse, the political nature where we find ourselves,
Yes.
emancipation, freedom. Where's the fun book?
Yes.
Exactly.
And that is what we
exactly.
try to.
Where's the fun book?
That's what we're trying to
That's what
achieve
we
with
try
fiction.
to change.
That's why we started
Yes.
Firecore Publishing. That's why we go to schools and we give them like 50 young adult books to brighten up their library. You know,
Where's the Young Adult Festival? Where are we going to
Yeah.
just
we're
be
trying,
able
but
to...
Sam,
we try.
it's
It's
a
a lot
lot.
of work, hey?
You need
It's-
to be 100%
Yeah.
planning
And at
this
the
festival.
moment, we are just so busy with so many other things, and it's not just a lot of work; it's a lot of money.
For sure,
I
for
mean,
sure, for sure. For sure.
you know, we actually tried to plan one. What were we gonna call it? I can't remember now.
I
a
remember.
bookish thing.
A bookish thing, book
Yes.
festival.
We needed
we
5
were-
million
Yeah, we needed like 5
to
million.
because we knew
Yes.
to, like you said, make a book festival fun.
And it was going to be
was
in
going to
Cape
be
Town.
yes
It was going to
by
be
the sea.
huge.
Yeah.
And we had Lauren Oliver who
Yes,
does
we got-
she had the movie Fallen from her
Yes.
young adult books.
She was
on
gonna come.
board. We got
Wow.
Veronica
Yeah.
Roth from what is it?
Yeah, the Hunger Games.
No, not the Hunger Games.
Veronica Roth-
Divergent.
Oh, Divergent.
Yeah,
sorry.
she was
Wow.
interested,
No,
but they
that-
cost
They
100,000 rand just to
They
get
cost a lot
here.
of money.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
we had no
Um,
support from the South African Publishing Association. I'm sorry, we didn't. Because libraries and books and culture take 3rd, 4th, 5th place right now.
Yeah.
That's where our country is. But we also
But
want to
I-
make a statement
I
saying that, you
genuinely
know,
feel that there's a space for...
we're in a
There
place, like you
is, there
said, you're
is a
going to a book
space,
festival
yeah.
and you're learning about the same old biographies and
Yes.
this and
there
this and
seems
this.
to be...
There needs to be fire, inspiration,
she-
excitement around books.
And when she said, she said, and when they said, "What's out there for excitement?" She said there was some kind of movie that would look into.
Oh,
listen,
and you
I'm-
fell asleep.
No, because I was driving.
I'm already
I would have been in hospital if I fell asleep. But you know what? It was some movie that had a really serious subject matter, and I'm not saying there isn't a
Sam.
place for them.
Yes.
But if you look at the last 3 book
What we
festivals,
wanna do-
they were all about I think the last one was about the role of women in society, and I'm saying that there is a place for them, but there just isn't anything fun.
People
Yes,
are
it's not
tired of
entertaining.
seriousness. There's too much stress in the world. You need relief, you need fantasy, you need fiction. But in
100%.
that fiction and fantasy, you can bring issues in.
Yes.
Every writer that
Um,
writes a book has an issue in there that they talk about in a magical way. You can, can I explain it that
in a
way?
Beauty and the Beast kind of way.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's I totally agree with Carlyle. The book fest and you know what, most of them are the same.
Yeah.
All the book fest though, it's like they are following a recipe of what authors to acknowledge and what not. If you're not writing, if your book is not about political, or that's how I feel. I'm not saying it is how it is.
What's the chance of getting about 50, 60, 70 fiction authors across the genres, young adult,
In South
and-
Africa.
and going to Toy Toy
In
and
South
going through the
Africa.
South Africa,
Maybe 10 will show up.
books? 10.
I don't want to be ugly, and we might get, like you said, target on my back right now.
I can see it. There's a little red dot. In your forehead.
We are like really, really angry at the moment. We don't understand what's happening. Why do South African authors feel that they need to compete?
yes.
and the
You
reality-
know why we did this?
And the
We
reality is
do so
funny.
good overseas is
Yeah.
because the overseas authors help each other.
No, but
They
the reality
help
is for
each
me,
other.
I think it's kind of weird when it's not like a tennis match where two people are on court at the same time. And unless you are writing the exact same thing as someone else.
Not even.
But-
Every
not
but
story-
But it's impossible to
Yeah.
print a book that has the exact same storyline, same
Exactly,
characters. It's
exactly.
impossible.
It is impossible.
It's impossible.
You know
Unless
what
you're
it is?
gonna
It's like
plagiarize
having
that
Lord of the
person, but-
Rings, and every team they team up together, and there's their goal, and they all do it together, and they save the world.
And I
Why
underst-
can't it be like that?
And I hear what you're saying, and I think the reality is that I think maybe it's a skewed perception of what competition means, because it's not like you could bring out another Harry Potter or Lord of the Ring, you know, as you know what I mean. It's just not. It's just
But why
not
not?
possible. But you know the reality.
You can be something
No,
like
but
it.
Look, but the thing is,
Yeah.
if you did, you would be then competing. But what you're saying is that every author is bringing something brand new to the table.
Yes.
New characters,
New
storylines.
voices,
And so
new
therefore there shouldn't be
colours.
competition,
No.
but
No.
more. And more if imagine 50, 60 authors came together and said, guys, we'll take over a space like 27 boxes.
Yes.
And we'll promote it. And even if we get 1,000 people here, at least somebody will buy a book from us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ladies, unfortunately, we run out of time. It's so nice to see you. It's now 2018. I'm sure I'll see you in 2023.
And then we're gonna talk about the New York Times.
Erika and Carlyle.
Thank you for having
they run an
us.
organization
Yeah, it's always
called
fun.
Firecool Publishing. You need to log on to the website. They've
The
written
website
some-
is under construction at the moment. So sorry about
Firecool
that.
Publishing Facebook.
Facebook page.
So you can go to their Facebook page, find out more about the authors they support, and you can just find out more about them. As you know,
Yes,
Carlyle
and please
writes-
let the authors come because we cross promote all the time.
And Carlyle obviously writes under her own name, where Erika writes under multiple pseudonyms, including the latest being Christian Ping. Okay, we'll podcast this afterwards. You're listening to The Weekly. We're going to
Yay.
go to a song. It's by Ayanda Gia. It's called I'm Doing Fine.
Harnessing the power of talk radio. Brandlive.co.za.
Please relax, let me have a moment of your time. Oh, I got something to tell. You see me, one day I almost lost my mind. I live to tell you everything. Oh, everything. Oh no, I lost my mind. I never took the time to see what I was feeling inside. For years you held my light. You had me locked up in your night. And then the morning break. That's when I knew that we were over. It never ever felt the same since that day. I know you're doing quite alright. And baby, I'm doing just fine. I'm doing fine. Although the sun still shines on you. There's nothing in the world I know I cannot do. So full, I see that diving into my soul, and you didn't even care to know how tarnished I felt. See, your problem is I understand me more than you know. All you wanted was a backseat. Can't push, pull me by the right beat. Play cheap beauty. Oh, out of my soul. Out of my soul. When the morning breaks, that's when I knew that we were over. See, it ain't that kind of deal. That's why I'm still here. Now I know you're doing quite alright. And baby, I'm doing just fine. I'm doing so as the sun still shines on you. There's nothing in this world I know I cannot do. I was nothing but a little girl. First encounter with the sour man, it ruled my world. Later on, it came to be. You inspire me every day, even all of my pain and what you take away. You're so supreme. Without you in my world, I don't know where I would be. Look at me, strong grown woman living gracefully. So happy, you could tell that God has been good to me. I've come to be more than what they said that I would never be.
Live from 27 boxes in the heart of Melville, this is brandlive.co.za.